What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? So today I'm going to be doing another review on another Green Day album. This came out in 2009. It was 5 years after American Idiot. 21st Century Breakdown. So a lot had happened with the band after American Idiot. They blew up again. Career, wouldn't say it was in a slump, but it was just to the point where everybody was talking about Green Day, going here, going there, awards, boom, 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 boom. And with this album, the band, for me, I would say it was more political than American Idiot, because to me, American Idiot really was only two songs that were political, and that was American Idiot and Holiday. With this album, there was a lot more of that being thrown around, and also talking about how things were going, for the most part, with how the band felt the country was going after now Bush was no longer in office and Obama was now in office. So with the album, there were tracks that were in your face, normal Green Day punk rock. And then there were some tracks that were kind of taking a little bit of a different direction. Not too much. I wouldn't say 21st Century was American Idiot Part 2. It just took the elements of American Idiot, what made it great, and kind of expanded on it, if that's the right way. Where American Idiot was one full story, 21st Century had 3 arcs to it. So the first 6 tracks were Heroes and Cons. The second act was, I forget, Charlatans and Saints. And then the third act was Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And then it was just like 6, and then another 5. I wonder why it wasn't another 6, but yeah, whatever. So you had 2 characters in the arc, which was Christian and Gloria, and pretty much it's kind of like you get to see both sides of one of them. Gloria's like this rebel, going against society, trying to do her own thing, and then Christian is kind of like this, I wouldn't say laid back, but really just apathetic. Really doesn't care too much about anything. Kind of just out there. Not somebody that has anything to look forward to. And then you have them meet and, try to have something go on. It's kind of loosely at times, because I think the band, when they first started the album, the tracks they had fit that narrative. However, when they started doing more tracks, it started to pull away from that. So certain tracks fit the narrative and certain tracks not so much. They're just tracks. I don't feel that album was bloated. I was very excited when I heard it. Know Your Enemy came out, and I was like, cool. I love the solo. I just love the song. Some people said, yeah, it's repetitive. And then, I always hear the joke, well, Rage Against the Machine had a Know Your Enemy song too. I'm like, yeah, so what's your point? And then when I heard the album, I was very happy with it. Had no qualms with it. Just like, for Green Day with my favorite songs stuff, I had my favorite songs, and then I had songs that were okay. I think with this album, there wasn't any songs to me that were okay. It was just like, okay, I like the whole album. For my rating, I give it 5 out of 5 yes sirs. There wasn't a song I didn't like. There's just songs I like more than others. For my top 5 songs, what are we? Before the Lobotomy, that is like, I love that song because I like how it starts out with like an acoustic guitar, and then a little bit over time, the band comes in, and then, it has this like, kind of thing playing the guitar, and then band comes back in and does that again, band comes back in. And it's not like a chorus song. It was different. It was like lyrics, and then a bridge part. And if I would say that there was a chorus, I would say that was the actual first verse, because it's resung again at the end of the song. And I love how the way the end song, you hear the acoustic again, then you have the guitar ringing over it, and you have the band playing over it, and then you have Billy singing the lyrics of the first verse again. I just loved how that whole vibe went with that song. And then my second song for me is Christian's Inferno, just because it's a dirty, not dirty in regards to lyrics, but just the way it sounds. It's just, you can tell it's angst. It's not nice. it's just in your face. It's not a long track. However, it just gets the point across that this guy just doesn't care about anything, you know? And then my other tracks were East Jesus Nowhere. Love that song. And then I was wondering what. Yeah, I would say Viva La Gloria, but Little Girl. There's two Viva La Glorias. There's the Rebel one, which is on Heroes and Cons, and then the other track, which is on Charlatans and Saints. Now, the thing about Little Girl is that Little Girl, I don't think it's talking about Gloria, but it almost seems like it's talking about somebody who might represent what Gloria could be if she doesn't go the right, doesn't change some of her behavior, because this one is just like, sounds like a junkie, just messed up to the 10th degree. And it's funny too, because I remember when some videos came out that showed them what they were playing, I used to think that the bridge or kind of the soloing for the song that they were showing, but it was at a different tuning. I always thought that was Restless Heart Syndrome for a long time, and it ended up being Little Girl. You know, so it was great that that one of the playings that they did for the recordings that they were letting the public see, that ended up on the album. So that was good to see. And then of course 21 Guns is my fifth song. Looking back on it, I think the band they almost could do anything at that point, because if we didn't have Warning, we wouldn't have if we didn't have Nimrod, then we wouldn't have Warning, and the lessons learned from those albums, we wouldn't have got AI, and the lessons learned from AI, we wouldn't have got 21st Century. However, things, looking back on retrospect too, it was also beginning to where, because of what was going on with 21st Century, that whole tour, making of the album, that the negative side of that would overflow into what became the triple album Uno Dos Tres, and the results of that. So that is one thing that I'll mention on the review for those albums, because that was a very troubling time for the band as well. I was like, is there anything else to say about this album? Because it was, it's one of my, with all the music I listen to the band, it's just one of the things I just continue to listen to. So I'm starting to feel like there's not much else to say. So I think if you want to check it out, check it out. It's not AI 2. But it's a good album for Green Day fans. I wouldn't suggest it for people that are trying to get to know the band, because it's kind of an overload, I think, for how many tracks and music it is. However, it is something to check out. So